Well, I think there's a reason for it. You're on stage playing Duke to go to a Final Four. I think if he injured himself and was carted off and stuck his thumb up, we've seen that before. But I think when you see all the pouring out of emotion from his teammates and the severity of the injury, and then him just totally forgetting about the injury while 6 inches of his bones out of his skin and just saying, listen, man, I'll be fine. Just win. Just win. And he's a man of very few words. He doesn't talk a lot. So I think it was an incredible display of emotions from his teammates as well as himself, and with a great deal at stake. And real proud of the team to get through that and get on to Atlanta, where Kevin's from. So it's quite exciting to be part of this whole event. No. We're playing Wichita State, who's one of the better teams I've seen. They're a great basketball team, great defensive team, great offensive basketball team, great shot blocking team, rebounding. There's 4 teams that all have a different style, and all playing great basketball, coming together with all an equal chance to win a national championship. So we're all I'm not speaking for Syracuse, Wichita State, or Michigan. I know all 4 teams are very excited to be part of this. You know, I don't know if it was extra energy as much as it was just extra emotion. And I have found in the past that the team that executes the best is going to win. And we hope it's us, but could be any of these 4 teams. Well, I found it, it was a very difficult experience, because at first I went to help him up, and as I'm getting ready to help him up, I actually didn't know what I was looking at for about 5 seconds. And then he saw my eyes, and then he looked, and he just went back, "Oh my God!" And from that point, the only words he uttered were, "Just win, I'll be fine." So I think, for a young person to react that way, I don't know how long it's been now because I'm losing track of days. But 3 or 4 years ago, we said we have to come up with a new brand because I've been here a long time, and it's going to be Louisville First. And we put it on all our shirts, Louisville First. That the only thing we care about is Louisville, a university, not the names. And here, 4 years later, if anything could epitomize what that brand was all about, it was Kevin Ware and the other players, to be honest with you. I couldn't be prouder of a group of guys, the way they stirred their emotions for Kevin, and couldn't be any prouder of an athlete to be so selfless, to just, at that point in time, it was a terrible sight to see. I've never seen anything like that in my 100 years of coaching. Phil.
Coach, Kevin, you mentioned several times in the last few days that Kevin's from Atlanta. You talked about wanting to get back to Atlanta. Can you talk about his emotions as he gets set to go down to Atlanta, not just for the Final Four, but to come home after?
I think we're all fine now. It was once I saw the doctors and they told me he's going to be fine. Surgery went great. If we can get by no infection, we're over the hump. So right now, I think that just having Kevin around and joking with the guys, we all feel at ease. We can all exhale a little bit. He's going to have a long road back. So many nice people have reached out to him. I thought the coolest thing for me to hear, because so many people did mention, was having Michelle Obama reach out to him. I said, "Man, you're the coolest guy that I know in Louisville." I said, the president's pretty cool. But Michelle Obama, I mean, she's the real thing now, Kevin. So that was unbelievable.
Have you been told anything, Rick, about when he might be expected to come back? Is he going to miss next year?
I don't. I really don't know, and nobody knows. You know, this is a Joe Theismann type injury, a Michael Bush type injury. I don't know how long it took them to come back. Everybody's different. I do know he'll have the best training staff and the best medical help that anybody could have.
Would you expect Peyton and Russ to play more minutes, and what's the point of promotion?
The problem we have is we were a deep team in the front court, and we were not deep in the back court. So we had a three-guard rotation, and the great thing about this team is when we've been on this run and we substituted Kevin Ware, sometimes we gained, we didn't lose. So now you're down to a two-guard rotation. They're always in foul trouble and fatigued every game because of the way we play. We can't alter our style because we're not going to win if we do that. So what I told the players, Tim will step up and he'll give us some minutes, but the rest of you have to play better. So Wayne, you've got to give us more. Shane, you have to give us more. Steven, you have to give us more. Every single guy has to give us more because Tim is not going to be Kevin. He'll do a good job. He'll play as hard as he can play and give us a good body, but he's not Kevin Ware. So we just have to get more out of the other guys. There's nobody to come in for Kevin.
It wasn't just this moment for Kevin. Early in the year with the suspension, he had shown so much growth. To get to this point, was this the strongest maybe you've seen, or was this mainly reciprocated?
I think it's the strongest I could see anybody. I don't know of any athlete that could do what he did. Looking at that, you know, first after he put his head back, and you know, I'm sure he's never going to want to watch it ever again. But when he put his head back, everybody's down there and everybody's around him, and I don't know what his thoughts were at that time. I know what his teammates' thoughts were.
Let's talk about how much he has grown as a player, and he almost seemed like a different player.
Kevin has gone from a quiet, unsure man to a very mature man, and it's his evolving. Kevin was very quiet, keep to himself, not show his emotions, and in the last month he's taken on a leadership role. He's come out of his shell, and it's helped him, and this experience will help him grow as well, because when adversity hits people, people react differently. And he's risen to a level that I've seen very few players able to do.
Before the season even started, you had a feeling about this team that you expressed. Has it now come to the fruition that you dreamt about in October?
Well, I thought this team just was selfless. I told them that only last year it was just focus on the task because we had more injuries than any team I've coached. Everybody missed major weeks of practice. I said, just focus. In the end, we'll get healthy. Just stay focused and don't get distracted by all the injuries. This year, our message is, and we always pick one word, it's humility. You're coming off a Final Four. If you embrace it, you won't get back. If you stay humble, you stay hungry, you'll have a chance, just like all the other teams in the country, to compete to get back there.
It's something that's been brought up in discussion, and the answer may be a non-factor whatsoever, but in your estimation, did the elevated floor and him trying to stop or not knowing
No.
what it was have any effect?
No, I just think, you know, I saw it happen. He left his feet, and he's coming down, and he was up so high, and I think he tried to stop in the force. You know, I don't think it's anything to do with his build, his anatomy. I just think it happened. I don't think it's the raised floor. I wish we didn't have a raised floor. I don't like being out on one. Wish we didn't have it, but I don't know what the answer to that is.
What were the emotions like when you walked inside?
Well, everybody was just so happy to see him in great spirits on crutches. I was sending the guys pictures and updating them on how he feels. So we were just, when we all found out that he's going to be fine, we were all relieved. So it's exciting to have him with us. And I know the guys are fired up to get him to Atlanta.
Will he be able to travel with you guys?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
To get back to what you were saying about the basketball stuff, you mentioned Monday on the teleconference the possibility of you might be thinking about using Luke a little bit.
You know, we're going to have to try to use everybody. You know, we're rotating the 3 walk-ons, Doc Slime, Jordan, and Logan. And we're going to have to now, even though it's not Slime's rotation, he's got to go because he may have to play.
How do you feel about the women?
Well, they could take all of it because I was jumping out of my bed last night. I was so excited. I mean, to have a football team upset Florida in our infancy stages of what Charlie has done, to have 2 basketball teams in the Final Four. I mean, if our horse ever does get to the Derby, Tom George is showing up at that barn and he's patting that because he's the luckiest son of a gun I've ever seen in my life.
Last year, Wichita State being the 9th seed to get to the Final Four was a huge deal. Do you feel like that you got any sense that because of this, you guys are like a sentimental favorite for?
I don't think there is anything like that. They're certainly not a 9 seed. Everybody knows how good they are. They're as good as any team we have faced in the Big East. They're very deep. They're very talented. And they're not Cinderella. Florida Gulf Coast was Cinderella. This is not a Cinderella team. This is a deep team. This is a team with a lot of experience. This is a team that went in, I think it was VCU early in the season, and beat them, and you know how tough that is. This is a team that can beat anybody. And we have more than have our hands full with this basketball team.
In a sense, though, it seems like a lot of times the underdog. I mean, they're an underdog. It's not still a Cinderella, but it seems like a lot of people. I even heard a lot of Kentucky fans after Ware's injury, all of a sudden were pulling for you guys. Where going into the game, they may have been pulling. Like, you feel like
Well, we certainly appreciate any support we can get, but it's not going to make a difference in the game. You know, it's really not. It's all about offensive and defensive execution. When you get to this stage, it's so big, and everybody wants to win a championship. Michigan wants to win one. Syracuse wants to win. Wichita State won, because you don't get to this stage too much. You know, you've got to have a very good basketball team to get to a Final Four, and there are 4 very good basketball teams, and only one's going to come away victorious.
Ohio State talks about maybe taking Wichita State a little bit lightly. What is it about your team that, you feel it doesn't play down to it?
Who said that they took them lightly?
Just people that were watching the game around us.
Okay, so Ohio State didn't say that. No. So rephrase that. Ohio State didn't say that.
Sorry, people that were analyzing the Ohio State game
Okay.
felt that maybe they had taken Wichita State lightly, which has never been something that's been associated with your team, and especially.
The only thing I can tell you, Ohio State shot the ball too quickly against a team like, but they didn't take them lightly, because if you watch the tape of the Gonzaga game, if you watch the tape, 25-point beating of Pittsburgh, we squeaked out a victory at home against Pittsburgh. So if you watch tape, you could not possibly take them lightly. So that's just an Ohio State fan saying that.
But what is it about your team that you guys don't seem to have that?
Well, the word humility. I mean, we know that Wichita State can beat us. So we know we have to play our best game to beat them. So we understand that. They watch film. They concentrate. And our guys right now would say, damn, they're good. They're really good. But all you have to do is watch Gonzaga, and it's very easy. You know, you're getting the answers to the exam visually by just watching them play. And they're not beating these teams by a couple of points and squeaking out a come-from-behind victory. They're pounding these teams.
What do you think about Coach K and the boom factor that we kept talking about after the game? It was like Mission Plus is 40 feet tied, and then boom, they have this boom. And we saw it also in the Syracuse second half of that possession.
I hope the boom's there for a couple more games.
Is there any one reason that you point to for being able to do that? Like, it seems like it's just another year.
I think it's a strong desire to win. I think it's a style of play. I think, you know, we shoot 29% against Syracuse in the first half, and, you know, we realized that we didn't stick to our offensive game plan. We shot the ball too quickly, the same way that Ohio State did that game. When you do that, you fall behind. When you take bad shots, it leads to fast breaks. It leads to things that don't go correctly for you. In the second half, we did all the right things, and we came back in the game.
On the Bruins question, Kevin and Fred talked about the other teams reach a point in the second half where they really come off the pre-defensive factor of it. Kevin said it's no blood and guts. Do you think that there's something to that? Do you think there's a cumulative effect that your team has that shows up more often in the second half?
I think it does show up sometimes, but understand now we're strong body down, so whether we can still do that remains to be seen, because we don't have, one of the things is fresh legs being able to do that. Peyton and Russ, oftentimes they're gasping for air because the backcourt has to do most of the work.
Coach, Shane had 8 rebounds on Monday. He didn't have more than 4 since playing the ball. How much was his elevated play due to X's and O's, and how much was due to Kevin?
Well, he started out the game. I think Shane was just disappointed in the way he's been playing, and he says, it's time for me to play better.
You said multiple times you want to change the type of kids that come into your program, and you said, how emotionally this team's connected with you. How much does Pitino love this team that's good to you?
The last 3 years. Now, a lot of times people say it's easy to love a Providence team in '87 when they go to a Final Four, and it's easy to love a team that wins a Big East championship. But I've loved this group of guys, type of people they are, when we lost to Morehead State in the first round. It's just none of you appreciated how good Kenneth Farid is. Maybe you do today. But I love that group the same way. So it's been the type of guys we're getting in, the quality of their character. I mean, I told Kevin earlier in the year, it was a joke, man, I'm a little upset at you, but I love your mom, so I'm just going to take it easy on you. And, we're all very close. His mom is very close. We have a special bond because she's from New York, and Kevin keeps saying he's from New York, but he's really not.
Why did you think it was so important to be there in the hospital for him?
I don't. If there's not a coach in America that wouldn't have been there, so that's really not a big deal. I was just going to get him chicken at 10:30 in the morning. Was finding a place that was open was a big deal. He had to have some. I said, "Wait." I said, "What did you want, breakfast?" He said, "No, I really like some." I don't want to tell you where he sent me. He sent me to Hooters.
Let's take a few questions for Kevin now.
Kevin, are you surprised by this being more than just a sports story and you're seeing interest from like mainstream news outlets and things like that?
Yeah, I'm a very quiet guy, so a lot of this is really new to me. I really just appreciate everybody and the support that I have right now. But we still got a job to do. I feel like we still got 2 more games to win, and that's most important right now. I'll recover and I'll be fine, but we still got to win the championship.
When you went to the doctors, did they say anything about maybe any kind of pre-existing, injury with your leg that maybe made it easier to break or anything like that?
From what I remember, I know they asked me about if I had any shin problems, but I've never had any shin problems before this incident, so nah.
What do you remember from that moment walking through right before you
It's kind of insane because we played Duke in the Bahamas, and the exact same play happened with the exact same player, and it was just on the opposite side of the court. So when I went to contest the shot, it was like I normally always do. I kind of joked a little bit, like I should have blocked the shot because I jumped so high, but I guess I just landed wrong, and I didn't see where I was landing, so that's kind of what caused the injury. But I kind of felt like stuff like this doesn't just happen for no reason. There's a reason behind everything, so I'll soon to find out what the reason is going to be. But it's just a process that I'm ready for. At the time, coach kind of just gave my like a leg, like a look, like he's never seen something like this before. So I'm just thinking like my ankle's hurt or something like that, and I look down at my leg and my bones 6 inches out of my leg, and I go into automatic shock. And I really, really want to thank Luke, because Luke jumped right on the scene, like our captain that he is, and just said a prayer for me. And it was either, when he was saying that prayer, what was going through my head was either I'm going to cry and my team is going to be devastated and we probably won't win this game, or I'm going to just try to say some words that could get us through. And they beat Duke by 22, so I said I think my words got through good enough. You know?
Everybody reacted differently, but take us through Luke's reaction. As you mentioned, he was there by your side, and he said after the game, if he was in that situation, he would want a teammate there next to him.
Yeah, you know, Luke is a great guy. You know, Luke is he's from the time he's been here, he's just been a leader, and I can really say that I really have a deep kind of love for Luke, because he's never going to tell you anything wrong. He'll get into it, guys, in practice all the time, but that's just Luke being Luke, you know. And when he jumped on the scene and how he did, you know, I was really more expecting Peyton, just because, you know, how Peyton is. He's really always there, but seeing Luke there, and it really just touched my heart. And he said a prayer, and it got me through. And I saw Coach, and I just kept repeating it over and over again, like, Coach, I'm going to be good. We just got to win this game. Like, that's just most important right now. I'll be fine. Let's just win this game.
I'm sorry you've seen the tape of it, the reaction of your teammates. No, not of the injury, but the reaction of your teammates. Have you seen any of that, or do you?
Yeah, I've seen. It was like Russ saw a ghost. You know, I've never seen. Shane's probably the toughest guy to y'all, but Shane's crying his eyes out. Montrez is crying. Everybody's just in real shock, you know. And just looking around and seeing that, it was devastating, you know. But they pulled it through, and we're going to Atlanta, you know. And that's what's really most important right now. We're still in season, and we still don't want our season to end. So we got to get the job done.
Kevin, it's almost been 3 days. What has been the biggest high for you in the last 3 days?
All the support I'm getting. You guys, all our fans. I've been touched by everyone, you know. Someone called me earlier today and was just saying how this is bigger than just me. Like, a lot of people are looking at me like as a role model now, because a lot of people have been in injuries that ended their careers and car accidents and things of that nature, and people are really taking note to how I handled the situation. And it wasn't nothing that is out of the ordinary to me, because that's kind of just my character, how I handle it. So getting all this attention, it's not me, but it's really appreciated.
Kevin, I'm sure you had were texting and talking with your teammates, but what was it like when you walked in when you saw them for the first time there?
Seeing Russ and Mingo, you know, it was a great feeling. You know, I missed these guys. That was the biggest thing, getting back here. You know, being in Indianapolis, my girlfriend did a great job of just being there for me the entire time until my mom and my stepdad could be there. But it's nothing like seeing my teammates. You know, we brothers, and I wouldn't trade these guys in for the world. You know, it's just a bond there that it'll never be broken, and that's just as real as it gets.
When you got tweets from LeBron and calls from Michelle Obama, what was the one where you went, this is big, this is national?
Definitely a conversation with Kobe. You know, I'm not a strong. I've always been a LeBron kind of guy, but Kobe, you know, like Kobe reaches out to you and people making the fake accounts for the Twitter and the Instagram, I kind of felt like it was disrespectful. That's the only reason I ended up getting back on Twitter, to just verify that this guy isn't me, you know. So them just reaching out to me and showing that it doesn't matter how old you are or what the situation is, everybody cares. That really touched me.
I heard
Familiar
you got,
with the George Gibbs story from Notre Dame?
No, sir.
Gifford?
No, sir.
The phrase "just win," calling your teammates over, is kind of taken on this dramatic lore now in other sports. Do you see this being something that could be a kind of a touchstone in sports?
I would say so, with just how the injury occurred and everything that's going on, but it's not something that I just planned like I wanted it to happen this way, you know. Like I said, I'm not really a media guy. Coach will tell you I'm one of the quietest guys in the world, honestly. And just the support, I really, really do appreciate it, you know.
When you left the arena and you're going through everything that you were going through and getting back to surgery, did you know anything that was going on back at the arena? And when did you find out that you guys had actually won and were headed to Atlanta?
It didn't come to me that we were going to Atlanta until the next morning, because all the medicine I was on. I really didn't even remember Coach coming to the hospital that night, honestly. And just me waking up and seeing that trophy right there, I kind of felt like, all right, we're another step closer to where we need to be, honestly.
Have you seen any of the tape of the second half of the last 15 minutes?
Yeah, I saw the highlights. You know, they put like a video together of Duke coming back and tying the game. And I don't know what happened. I guess it was a timeout or a huddle, and these guys just came out there and started playing as hard as they could, and they went on a magnificent run. Peyton was playing great. Shane and everybody really stepped up, and it was very, 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 very proud. I was very, very proud of my team.
I
Kevin,
heard you
you're
got
from-
a puppy that you named Scar.
Name him Scar. Yeah, it's a little pit bull. He's we got a connection already. You know, we like best friends really. It was just like I felt like it's one of those things where I'm gonna need something to do, somebody to entertain me, and I kind of felt like a dog would be the perfect situation. You know.
When did you get him?
They got him the day I was in, the first day I was in the hospital. They FaceTimed me, Zach and Wayne went and picked him up for me and just showed me how they had the shirt with his name, my number, and Ware on it. And he just looking at me, I'm looking at him, and it was a very emotional time right there.
Speaking of the shirts, how cool is the shirt you're wearing right now? That's kind of the motto now for this team.
Yeah, you know, I just feel like they're not playing just to win a national championship now. You know, we accomplished a Big East championship last year. We accomplished making it to a Final Four last year. Our goals are still the same. My injury or not, I still want to win a national championship just like if I was out there playing. You know, and when we cut down the nets, that's what's going to be most important.
Kevin, you grew so much this year on the floor and off the floor. After your suspension, what made you a different player the last part of the season?
It was really just him having the confidence in me, really. I've been telling the media this since my suspension. Since I came back for the Marquette game, he just basically told me I need to go out there and play basketball, you know. And watching guys like Russ and Peyton and learning from what they do, and these are some of the best guards in the country, honestly. So it's something I can't take from that. Like, you take a lot from watching Russ, you know. It was kind of like Coach wanted us to be more like Russ, just being aggressive and doing more stuff, and I kind of felt like I started to pick it up. Like, and kept progressing as the season went on, but, you know, stuff happens, and you got to get the job done without me.
Kevin, you're from Conyers, Georgia. You're going back to Atlanta now for the Final Four. How much support have you received from your hometown? And how much more touching is this trip for you?
A
Final Four?
ton of support, you know. Everybody that I was really close with in high school has been reaching out and trying to make sure I'm fine, and they want to come visit and do things like I don't have a basketball tournament, but most of the guys I already told them, like, I'm going to still be busy like if I was playing, you know. So I'm going to try to get as much time as I can in with them, and I appreciate all the support and everything I've been getting, but we still got to go out there and we got a job to handle.
You said they listened to your message on Sunday. What are you telling them for Saturday?
I don't think I have to tell them anything, honestly. I think they'll just look over to the bench and see me sitting there. That's going to be all the motivation they need, really. This isn't one of those things where we need to be motivated. I kind of feel like we're in the Final Four. It's 4 teams left, you know. It's either we're going to win or we're going to be back here in Louisville, you know.
Have you been told when you can start playing again, or what are your thoughts on that?
Nah, I'm just taking it day by day, honestly. They said it would take the bone 8 to 12 weeks to heal, and wherever the time period comes in after that is when I'll be able to play. I really don't know right now.
Your team has a lot of second half comebacks, big bursts in the second half. From the inside out as a player, can you see and feel the fatigue that a lot of these teams are feeling midway through the second half?
Yeah, I mean, Coach G does a great job with us in the summertime. You know, we cry and moan about it and really give him a hard time in the summertime, but he really does a great job of making sure we're a lot of condition and in better shape than any team we faced this year, and that kind of sets in for a lot of teams like your Colorado State and Notre Dame and all those teams that we played that really just got tired. Like the only game I could really think of that really knocked us out the water last year was when Marquette beat us pretty bad, and then we played them again in the Big East tournament last year, and you just see them guys over there on their knees and can barely breathe, and it was just like this. Everything we do is for a reason, you know, and everything here helps.
What would be your message for moving forward?
I'm okay. I appreciate all the support that they've been giving me, and if there's any way I can reach out to them and show them that I do appreciate it, I will.
Kevin,
opportunity. If there's any other questions for Coach, anything anybody needs to get in right now.
Coach, do you have any response to the record situation?
You know, it was very difficult to watch that. I'm very disappointed. I hope Mike gets some issues taken care of, and it was very difficult to watch that whole thing. I hope, though, for his sake, with his family, I hope they get back and they recover in some positive way. But it was difficult to watch, certainly, and I hope for the situation there, a lot of healing must take place with something like that, and I hope it does.
When you talk about Coach, like that, talking about the relationship he has with the players, what goes through your mind when you see that?
You know, I've never seen anything like that before, and I'm sure that there's a different side of him that really cares about his players, but that was difficult to watch, to say the least.
Coach, you talked a lot about your guys and the relationship. And what is this going back to the Final Four mean for you with this group?
You know, the Final Four is just, like I said earlier, the best thing about a Final Four is to put on that uniform and play in it. The second best thing is to be part of it as a teacher, as a trainer, as an equipment man. You know, because we're all there together. We had to get there together. There's not one person that can get a team to a Final Four. I mean, it's a collective effort by everybody involved. You know, our sports information director after every game is up to 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I know it because once in a while he'll stop by and see me at that time. So, you know, it's a collective effort for everybody to finally. Now you realize you can say, well, it's going to take 6 games, it's going to take winning this, but now you know it takes 2 games. It's reality setting in for all 4 teams. So for me, it's just a great experience. I'm happy for the guys that they're going to get that opportunity to play there. Last year, we lost to a great Kentucky team, played them tough, lost to a great Kentucky team, and now we know we're going to play a great Wichita State team. And we're going to need an A game from our guys to beat them. We know that. They're that good.
Whose idea was it to not cut down the nets, and were you surprised by it?
I just said in the beginning when, you know, I felt we lost 3 games, and anytime you have the passion of a city like this, where you have 22,000 people per game, and, you know, you're from a state of 3 million people, and you're always in the top 3 in attendances, the losses are magnified and the wins are magnified. So when we lost 3 games, it was really not a big deal to us because we lost in 5 overtimes at Notre Dame, and we usually lose them by 20 there, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And then we had a couple other losses. We lost to Syracuse at home in a tight game and missed some free throws and down. So it was really no big deal, but we just got together and said, look, our goal is to win the next 7 games. We just placed different goals in front of them. We know what type of guys they are. And I said, and then we're going to Madison Square Garden, and we're going to win that thing because it's the last year. It's the most special year of the Big East. We're going to win that thing. And we played basically a road game, and we said when we do win it, we're not cutting down the nets. And when we go to Final Four, we're not cutting down the nets. And we're going to wait to see if we can do it at the last moment. And we don't know if we can, but if we don't, we just missed out on a few nets. But
Well, Coach will have to leave us shortly to go get to practice. We've got a pass for a few more for Kevin.
Kevin, talking about cutting down the nets, are you going to be able to get up the ladder if necessary?
I'm hoping so, honestly, you know. As long as I don't fall, I feel like there's no reason for me not to get up there. It's an experience you get once in a lifetime, so not being able to it wouldn't be something I want.
Kevin, how important has your faith been through this process?
It's been big, you know, and guys like Payne Sieva, he really gets you through that. You know, Payne's a very spiritual guy. Just his background and where he comes from, he's always got the right mindset, positive mindset, and you really never know when Payne's upset or when Payton's really mad or about anything unless Coach P is one of those guys that really getting under our skin. But other than that, you wouldn't know, and Payne really helps a lot of us, you know.
Kevin, can you describe your emotions when you got to go into practice yesterday and see those first times?
It was amazing, honestly. You know, I saw Shane, and as soon as we saw each other, tears just started coming down. You know, because it's just that kind of bond. You know, saw Mike, saw Russ, saw all those guys. They just came over there, gave me hugs, and it was brother moment. Like it's not something that would be new. It's not something I didn't expect, because we just that close. So when it happened, it was really something I really appreciated.
You said you were surprised that this is just something how you would act. This is what you would do, and people found you to be almost heroic in that. Does it still surprise you that this was just you doing what you would do?
I would say so, because even if the lights wasn't on, I would have still gave the same kind of. It would have been the exact same, That really sums it up, honestly. I wouldn't have changed a thing. I wouldn't have cried. I would have thought about the team before I thought about myself. That's just the kind of person I am.
You touched on this earlier, but again, you talked about the attention that you're receiving because of this. Some of you surprised?
A big surprise, because I didn't know that this one situation would spark the entire country, and a lot of people have gotten behind me and are supporting me from this point on, and they want me to recover and have a speedy process as possible. So it means a lot, and I'm real thankful for it.
Can we ask Mom a few questions?
Yeah, that's fine.
Would you mind stepping up, please?
We got about maybe 5 minutes here, sir.
First, what's it like for you seeing your son go from interview to interview and all this media interested in him?
I'm just worried about him getting his rest, not overdoing it. The worst part is over. He'll let me know when he's tired, and we shut everything else down. But if he wants to do the media, he wants everyone to know that he's okay, and actually so appreciates all the prayers and blessings, and is very thankful, more so not for the attention, but being able to have a positive effect in anyone's life,
Was there anyone who contacted him that maybe made your eyes get big, like, oh my goodness, like,
Michelle Obama. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
On the cover of Sports Illustrated it says, "Mom, I'm okay," and your mom.
Yeah, my mom. He was so confident that they were going to come to Georgia for the Final Four. He said, you guys have been to Lexington, you've been to New York prior, you've been to all the games, relax and go to work for a little while. We'll be there shortly. So this wasn't a game that we had planned on going to. We were at a friend's house watching the game, and I missed it, but saw the replay, lost my mind, and 30 minutes, 45 minutes later, he was on the phone just telling me to calm down. And I was thankful that something in the atmosphere, God had asked him to get in touch with me, to touch me and let me know that he was all right, because I needed it at that time. I needed it. Something like what?
Just this kind of strength.
He's a very resilient young man. Always been, always had some type of adversity at one point or another in his life that he had to overcome. And we basically talk about it as being refined. He's constantly being pruned. And whatever it is that God is preparing him for, he's made sure that he's tried him and tested him time and time again. And this is just another test. What the outcome and the goal for it, we have no idea. But he's been passing each and every one of those tests. And I'm just proud of him, very proud of him.
could you be any prouder of how your son has responded to this?
I could be no prouder. I could not ask for any more through all the tears, the conversations, the baby, you gotta be a better person, speeches. I couldn't be any prouder.
What is your plan from here? I heard he's a little too eager to get moving and going. Are you gonna kind of keep an eye on him to make sure he's fully healed before he gets back on the court and gets back moving?
I will not suffocate him. However, I will be there. This will be established on all levels. I've already discussed it with my husband, and he understands. I'm very thorough, and I'm a thorough mom as well, so I will be here in his ear 3 to 4 times a week, and I will make sure he's doing well.
How tough is that as a mom to make sure your son's taking care of himself, but give him the room he needs to?
Communication is very big. One thing that was important for me because I didn't have it growing up with my parents. Talk to them until they're blue in the face. I'm blue in the face, suffocating, and at some point they get it, you know. It's not so much of stepping in and living their lives for them, allowing them to make mistakes and be able to come and talk to you about it, to learn from it and be able to move on. And that's what's been done with him and his siblings. And training them to, being that they do it with me now, it's just the whole process of training them to do it with each other, because I'm not going to be here forever. So they have to pass it on from them to their children, to their children, to their children. The best thing we can do with each other in this world is communicate and develop some type of understanding.
One last question, anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, can you describe the conversation where you told your mom, calm down, I'm okay? Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, basically, as soon as I knew what surgery room I was going to be in, and before they knocked me out with all the medicine and everything, I just basically asked one of the nurses could I use their phones, and gave me the phone. I just called my mom, and I just heard in her voice like she was just down and out of it. And I kind of felt like as we kept talking, and I just kept telling her like, "Mom, I'm good. You calm down. Like I'm gonna be fine." You know. She kind of just got more calm with it, and everything started to be a lot cooler. You know. And she was just waiting to hear from me at the surgery, and she told me she'll be there first thing in the morning, and that's exactly what she was. So.
Did she believe you?
I did. He better
I
not
didn't
lie
think
to
she
me.
did, but just knowing her, I really felt like she wanted to see me okay. I kind of felt like as she kept hearing my voice and knew that I was better, she got better, and that's just all. She's always been like that. I'm her only son, so it's expected.
Great, thanks everybody. And then we'll pause just a moment to let Kevin get out of here, and then we'll have Tom Jurich with us. And